Whoa. Okay. Well, Hefe, because I set the stream up today, apparently I do not know how to do the intro video. So guess what, brother? We are live right now, and welcome back, everyone, to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. We were expecting a 30-second countdown. We did not have it, so we apologize for that, but we are back, ready to roll and ready to give the winners today. Hefe, I haven't got to share the stream yet or do what I normally do, so I'm going to go do that. While I do that, tell everybody, how are you today?
I'm doing good, people. We made it through the first 16 games. First day of the tournament. It was an interesting day, to be honest with you. We saw, in my opinion, a day slate that was meh. We got a nice McNeese victory. That was probably a better game. And then as we got later into the day, I think the games got better. I think the best game of the day, without a doubt, was Arkansas-Kansas. That was a back and forth, absolute rock fight. Love the fact that Ark ended up figuring out how to break a zone, which was ridiculous for about 5 minutes. Really was pissing me off.
Right.
And that ended up being a great game. And I think the other great game, which I think everybody was up late watching, was UC San Diego versus Michigan. Michigan looked like they were going to win by 30 at one point. And UC San Diego, I think about two plays at the end of that game that really, really made that game what it was. There was an opportunity for UC San Diego to go by one. It was like a fast break, missed layup. And then they had a point blank. It was right there, and he missed it off the rim. After that, Michigan gets it. They get fouled. And honestly, that last shot of the game, when I was watching in real time, there's that kind of 1 second where the ball's in the air, and you could see the trajectory. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that's in. It was out. Great fight. That was a great game.
Great game.
That was a great game in terms of like the David versus Goliath type of situation. Kudos to Michigan. They played well enough to hold it off.
You know what I think about that one, Hefe? It's a true shame that UCSD played such a brutal first 10 minutes of that game.
That's
if they competed even a little bit in the early part of that game, they should have won. I do think they were a team that definitely could have competed with Michigan. We saw that in the second half. They brought it all the way back. I'll quickly go into my recap from yesterday because I went 3-4. So not a great day, not a terrible day, but a little under minus a unit. So we are going to get that back on track today. If we did get UCSD to score one more point to that game, we would have covered and had a pretty decently positive day. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. 3-4 for me, but I'm excited to get back out there. I like
3-1. 3-1 for me yesterday, man. I was feeling it. We won on BYU. We won on the Zag spread. We had Arkansas plus the points. We didn't even need the points. Those are 3 victories, and the loss was Louisville, and I'll tell you,
that would hurt.
More impressed with Creighton than I was disappointed in Louisville. But really interesting. Yeah. Before we go into it, one team. Who was the team that you were most impressed with yesterday?
McNeese, my boys, my upset pick. I have McNeese winning another game in my bracket. I've been talking about them all week long. Jabo shouted me out for that. That was me yesterday with the McNeese pick. I love this team. I think they can make some serious noise here, and that's going to be my pick. Who's your choice of best from yesterday?
The Zags.
They look great.
Clinical. They look like this was just a game in November for them. They had zero stress, zero worry. They played like a team who's been there and done that. And boy, oh boy, are we in for a good old-fashioned rock fight when Gonzaga and Houston will meet up tomorrow. Before that, Alpha, we got 16 beautiful games ahead of us today. And let's start off with the first game on the slate, 8-9 little matchup between the Baylor Bears and the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
I love it, man. Hey, you hosting today? This is nice. Hefe taking over the role. Love how you introed that game. Great way to do that. You're fantastic at what you do. Baylor coming in 19-14 on the year, brother. They're ranked 9th seed, taking on the Bulldogs, as you said, who are 21-12 on the year. This game is pretty much a pick'em on the odds. You can see on the screen what we have here. Mississippi State is a slight favorite, a 1.5 point favorite here. So, Hefe, we'll let you kick it off. What do you like in this game?
So, I've been going back and forth about this. Mississippi State's been a team that I've watched for a good amount of the season. And to be honest with you, more times than not, I was disappointed when I was backing them. And so when this matchup came out, my first inkling, to be honest with you, was to back Baylor. Last time I saw Baylor, they lost to Texas Tech on a last-minute Missed shot by VJ Edgecombe, who is one of the best freshmen in the nation. He's going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. He's plays for Baylor. But then I started looking at Mississippi State, and I thought to myself, damn, like their losses, I know there's no good loss, but solid losses. Losses against Texas, at Arkansas, against Missouri. All of those teams made it to the tournament. Some have already been eliminated. Yes, Houston as well. And honestly, then I started thinking, what's my philosophy? I love to pick teams that are upperclassmen that have been here before versus freshmen that haven't. Baylor is one of those younger teams. Now, mind you, they have a coach who's not only been here before, but he's won a damn national championship a few years back. Yeah. But Mississippi State has the X factor, and that X factor, his name is Josh Hubbard, and I am rolling with him, and I'm rolling with the dogs, and I'm taking State on the money line.
I'm in the same boat you are. I'm also on State here. Baylor has been absolutely terrible against the spread this year. There's no other way to put it. Baylor comes into this game 12-18 against the spread, covering it a little under 40%. That's bad. There's no other way to put it. That's bad. They have not lived up to the expectation and the lines that have been set for them all season long. Mississippi State does a great job rebounding. They're a team that's very physical. They do a lot of great things on the interior and in the paint. And then they have a guy like Josh Hubbard, who is by far the best player in this game. And when you need someone to go get a bucket, he's a guy who could do that. And I've said this all tournament long. I like to take teams that have a guy who could go get a bucket when you need a bucket to win the game. And they have a guy who can do that. I'm all over Mississippi State with you. Let's get that early win and start our day on the right foot. Little side note from the across the board boys here. JD, our guy, line movers, will be at the Baylor Mississippi State game today. That's the first game of the 2-pack he will be there for. So if you guys want any inside info, shoot line movers / MoneyBall metrics a DM. JD is there getting us the first-hand reporting. All right, Hefe, let's keep it moving right along to the second game we're covering today, which is going to be the Colorado State Rams, the 12th seed, going up against Memphis, the 5th seed, but the 12th seed's the favorite. Colorado State is the favorite here. I'm going to throw it to you again to start. What do you like in this one?
So this is probably the most interesting spread on today's board. This spread is giving last night's spread of UC San Diego, Michigan. But it's even more flip-flop because you got the higher seed actually favored. And I understand why. Colorado State is a team that is a high-octane offense. They could put up the score quickly. Memphis, not so much. But I once again revert to who is supposed to be the best player on the court. And without a doubt, it's P.J. Haggerty of Memphis. He's averaging almost 22 points a game. He's the leader of this team. Penny Hardaway is the coach of this Memphis team. So he's been here before, both as a player and as a coach. This is a toss-up to me. I'm leaning Memphis. I'm going to say that's my pick. This is not one of my best bets. I'm going to let that out right now. I lean Memphis here, and it's a pure just I think a lot of people will gravitate towards that fact that Colorado State's a favorite and they're the upper seed. And I get that. And I have no rebuttal if you choose Colorado State.
Well, I have a rebuttal for you. What do you I want to know what you think about this. So, this is another Mountain West Conference team, Hefe. What did we see out of Utah State yesterday?
I know.
Murdered by.
We're going to see two Mountain Conference teams today.
Yep. And what did we see from San Diego State against you in their opening game?
Yeah.
A blowout. So people are talking that this Mountain State, the Mountain West Conference, really isn't living up to what it's supposed to be, and they're really a conference that people are fading right now. Are you taking that into account? Do you think the Mountain West gets swept here?
You know, it's funny. New Mexico is the last team that they'll play tonight.
Yes.
Marquette. It's funny. I had this exact thought this morning driving here, and I was thinking in my head. And you know what I thought to my head? I was like, I think I backed New Mexico last year, and they got mollywopped by Clemson.
I did.
Mollywopped by Clemson. Yeah. Now, let's not make this a New Mexico story because they're a totally different team than last year. They have one of the best point guards in the nation in Donovan Dent. Let's get back to Colorado State. Memphis does not play in a Power 5. They play in the AAC, American Athletic Conference, right? Mm-hmm. They're not exactly one of those teams that I would be worried about, like a UCLA, Big Ten. Still so weird.
Yes, I could not agree more.
Marquette, Big East. Sorry. So you know what I mean? That's why I don't have that same feeling for this game. But I'll tell you one thing: if Memphis wins this game and it looks as bad as the other two did yesterday and the day before, you can guarantee that the numbers on Marquette are going to start steaming. I'd still lean Memphis. I still think they're the best player on the court. But this is another thing to look at here is the over. Colorado State loves to fast pace. They love to score. Memphis will have to either play catch up or keep up.
Both teams can definitely score. This is, to me, the one Mountain West Conference team that is going to get the win. The Colorado State Rams is who I'm going to be backing here on the money line. I do think they're the better team here. Clifford's been unbelievable. And the thing I like about Clifford, who is the best player for Colorado State, he leads the team in points per game. He leads the team in rebounds per game. He also leads the team in assists per game. So he's a Swiss Army knife who could do absolutely everything this team needs. And it's not like he's one of those guys that, he has 12 points per game. Maybe he has 5 rebounds per game. They're not a big scoring team from one player. No, this guy averages 19 points per game, 51% shooter, 77% from the free throw line. He averages 10 rebounds per game, and he averages almost 5 assists per game. So he has some big numbers in every single statistical category. I know on the other side they do have Haggerty, but all Haggerty can really do is score the ball. He's shooting at a lower percentage than Clifford. He's averaging a couple more points, but in this game, I do think Clifford and the boys from Colorado State will be able to get this done. It is a best bet for me. I am on the money line here, Colorado State. Hefe, we're going to move on to the most polarizing team in the entire tournament. North Carolina Tar Heels taking on the Ole Miss Rebels. Do we need to say anything about North Carolina? If you're here in this show watching right now, you know everything you need to know about this North Carolina team. They didn't deserve to make the tournament. Flat out, they did not. But then they had a first 4 game where they saw San Diego State, and they took them out back. They won 95-68. They absolutely murdered them in that game. Ole Miss is coming into this one, not having played in a full week. Their last game was a 62-57 loss to Auburn. Hefe, I'm going to kick it over to you. Basically an even spread here. Basically no favorite. UNC is a very small favorite. Are you backing the Tar Heels to be that team? Because as I said when we went over North Carolina, San Diego State, sometimes it doesn't always end in a Disney movie. Sometimes the bad guy, the team nobody wants to see make a run, has a chance to make a run. What's going to happen in UNC Ole Miss today?
It's so weird to call. Well, you cannot call UNC a Cinderella story. I don't care if there was a 16 seed next to their name. As long as their uniform is Tar Heel blue, they ain't nothing but a blue blood.
But they're the bad guy. They are the bad guy.
That's fine. That doesn't bother me. Everything in my person is telling me, do not have recency bias. Do not believe what you saw just from one game. Believe what you saw in totality in the season, and that the Tar Heels are flat out not a good team. Ole Miss has 6, that's right, 6 players that have averaged double figures throughout the regular season. All 5 of their starters and their 6th man are averaging at least 10 points per game, with the highest being 14 points per game. But, like Tar Heel just said, this one, experience matters. And there is nobody other than one other person in this tournament, player who will not be named, who was actually a Tar Heel at one point, that has more experience than
Khalib.
Not talking about it. Than RJ Davis. This, I'm not saying he's going to have a game like he had against SDU because the man was going nuclear.
He didn't miss a 3. He went 6 for 6 from 3.
But the ability to have been here before, to understand what it takes, to minimize mistakes and be a leader for your team is, I think, what will get UNC the victory today and quite possibly even on Sunday into the Sweet 16. I absolutely do believe in the first 4 momentum, getting a game underneath you, looking great, looking at your team, be like, yo, we got this, versus a team like you very eloquently mentioned, Alpha, and Ole Miss, that has not played in over a week. It's your standard rest versus rust debate. I'm going UNC, money line. It's one of my favorite bets of the day. Quite frankly, when UNC won on the first 4 and this line came out, it was one of my favorite bets of this 2-day slate.
Here's what I told you. When we saw the first 4 slate, I texted you directly and I said UNC is winning 2 games in the tournament. I saw the matchup. We knew it was going to be Ole Miss if they were able to beat San Diego State. And UNC matches up fantastically with Ole Miss. Ole Miss's leading scorer, Sean Padula, he was either at Virginia or Virginia Tech. I don't remember where he was at previously, but he was at one of those 2 schools. He's only averaging 14.5 points per game. This is a team in Ole Miss that does not really have a guy who could go get them a basket. I know you hear me say that all the time. But on the other side for UNC, they have a demon in the tournament, RJ Davis. When he gets here, he's a different type of player. Similar to Mark Sears, a guy who had a great year as well. But when we get into tournament time, when the lights get the brightest, these guys show up. And they have experience in these spots, in big games. And I think RJ Davis is going to perform yet again. I mean, It feels like RJ Davis has been in college basketball for 47 years now. I believe he's 23 years old, turning 24. That's a benefit to these programs. When you have a guy who's been there, who knows how to get through these big games, who's won these big games in the past, that's a huge benefit for the team. And RJ Davis has done a great job of being the leader of this team, being the veteran of this team. And they have guys who he makes better. Cadeau, the point guard, is averaging 6.5 assists per game. He had a phenomenal first 4 game. Lubin, the big man down low, also had a phenomenal first game. I think UNC keeps it rolling and gets it done. Definitely one of my favorite plays of the day. And that's correct. Joseph, that's correct. UNC is one of the hottest teams coming into the tournament. We can't say they're the hottest team because a lot of these mid-majors teams that lost yesterday didn't lose since January, but they didn't play real competition. UNC has been playing real competition in the ACC and has been able to get some big wins.
I also just want to say UNC got a great matchup here.
Yeah, someone put that in the comments as well.
It could have been could have been Ole Miss or Illinois, right? It could have been one of the two 60s that were with open slots. This is such a way better matchup for them than Illinois. Illinois could have given some trouble with their talented freshman who's a forward but is almost 7 feet tall. Ole Miss is just your typical guard-heavy team, and UNC has better guards than them.
I couldn't agree more. I cannot agree more. Let's keep it rolling, Hefe. Hopefully we disagree on one, but I don't think it's the next game, which is going to be Bose, Oklahoma taking on your UConn Huskies. Hefe, Oklahoma's coming into this game 20-13 on the year, taking on UConn, who's 23-10. UConn looking to three-peat. I don't think we've ever seen that. They're looking to three-peat in the NCAA tournament. This year is the first year they're not a 1 seed. They're coming in as an 8 seed, but you can't ever put this team out of the running. Hefe, Oklahoma has a guy named Fears who's been unbelievable this year, 17 points per game. On the other side, Solo Ball leads this team in scoring at 14.5 points per game. Diarra is their leading assist man at 6 per game, and Reed has been phenomenal with 7.5 rebounds per year. All that being said, UConn didn't have the greatest year in the Big East Conference. They finished 3rd in the Big East behind St. John's and behind Creighton. But, I mean, a lot of people said UConn is having a bad year, the Big East is having a bad year. They're having a down year. Well, Creighton shut a lot of us up last night. Or during the day. Creighton shut a lot of us up by absolutely sticking it to Louisville. St. John's last night against Omaha, people said they'd really struggle against a team like Omaha. They won by 30.
I know we're not even going to get into this. I just want to say I am so impressed with St. John's. So incredibly impressed. Number one thing against them going into the tournament, they can't shoot the three. What happens? 13 threes last night. They set a personal team tournament record. Watch out.
Fantastic.
Dogfight tomorrow. Arkansas, St. John's. Must watch television.
Could not agree more. But all that being said, Oklahoma, UConn, Hefe, what you got?
I literally think if UConn loses this game, they will have to get the National Guard to get Dan Hurley out of that stadium. He might die on the sidelines if they lose. I completely believe in championship pedigree and championship mindset. Look, this is not the UConn team in the last 2 years. Look how many players they've gotten drafted. I mean, Stefan Castle right now for the Spurs is about to win the Rookie of the Year. He's looking unbelievable, and that was their man last year. Klingon's on the Blazers. He's not playing too good, but whatever.
Somebody on this set loved Donovan Clingan coming out of college. It's somebody on this set.
Yeah, JD's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Moron. Oh, that's why he's not here today.
100%.
Anyway, great matchup for UConn, in my opinion. A young team led by a great players in Fears. I mean, 17 points a game on almost 50% shooting, but he's a freshman. UConn's got a player why can't I think of his name? Karab. Oh my God, what is the damn player's name?
It's not Carabello.
Carbon, who's been there.
Oh, Alex Caravan.
Yeah, Caravan, who's been there for all 2 championships. He's coming back. He's been here, done this. They have one of the best freshmen in the league in McNeely. And then they got Solo Ball who's leading the team in points. I'm taking UConn here. There's no way I think they have a chance to win a national championship, but I do think they get out of Dodge here. I think they cover this spread. They win by 6. Match up well with Oklahoma. Was really a one-dog pony with Fears.
Yeah, so I have a parlay for this game. Yesterday we did cash our daily parlay. Yesterday's parlay was Gonzaga and UCLA at plus 110. It was really a no sweat. I got another one, but today's a plus 140. First leg of the parlay is going to be UConn on the money line. We're not going to be covering the second game today, so I'll just give you the second leg. I am taking Marquette on the money line as well. You can get the parlay at plus 140. Yet again, UConn money line and Marquette money line. I don't see a way that Danny Hurley loses this game. I just don't. He has too much experience. His pedigree is too high. And as you said, he can't lose in the first round. I do think he will have the boys ready. They have more senior players. They have guys like Caravan who have been there before, who can show them the ropes, and they're going to win the coaching battle in every game they're in. So give me UConn. Give me Danny Hurley. They should be able to get it done. And I am parlaying that yet again with Marquette. All right, Hefe. We got one more game we're breaking down today. If you guys have any questions of any games, we'll be happy to get into it. Drop them in the comments. Ask us any questions. We're here for you. My guy, Joseph. By the way, Joseph, we're not talking about our boys tonight, but you guys could see in Joseph's picture who his team is. Joseph, Sparty all the way, baby. That's my winner. Let's get it. All right, boys. I keep saying all right, boys. All right, Hefe. Let's move into the final game we're breaking down today, which is going to be Xavier taking on Illinois. Xavier, big win against Texas in the first 4-round. I had Texas, so I was a little frustrated watching that game. However, here we are. Zach Fremantle, who was in foul trouble the entire game, was carried by the rest of his teammates. They played a fantastic game, Xavier. Were able to score a ton of points against Texas, and they look to carry that momentum against the Illinois Fighting Illini. Hefe, kick us off.
I like the Illini here, man. I think what will happen is what always happens. I think people will see the first 4-team winner, UNC, win in the earlier slate, and they'll sell themselves what we all sell ourselves on, is that the first 4 teams are just destined to make it into the next round because momentum is better than rest. But I think this Illinois team matches up perfectly with Xavier. Xavier's best player, Fremantle, you just said it, has to go against Illinois' best player, who, yes, granted, is a 6'6" freshman. I'm not even going to try to say his name.
You got to do it.
Kasparas Yakasunis.
That was good.
We're going to say it's close. We're going to say it's close. Anyway, impressed with this guy. Great 3-point shooter from Lithuania. Great player. But Illinois also has 4 other guys averaging double figures, including their center, Ivasic, who's a pretty good center. I think can match up really well in this Xavier team. We saw a couple of Xavier players in their game versus Texas that had just fantastic second halves. To be honest with you, I don't expect that to happen. Illinois is a better coach team than Texas is, and a little bit of an older team other than the freshman that I just mentioned. I'm taking the Illini here. I actually sent it to clients on the money line. I quoted at minus 150. But I think right now it's at minus 165. So it's moving. I already know the question you're going to ask me, Alpha. Would I take the minus 3.5? I would feel a lot better at 2.5.
I'll make it easier for the people. I can make it way easier for the people. Because the play is obviously Xavier plus 3.5. So I'll allow Illinois to win here for you, Hefe. All the people out there, we're going to take Xavier to cover the 3.5. So let's get a 2-point final. So Hefe and I are both happy. I don't think we are going to see Fremantle get in the same kind of foul trouble. He's going to do everything in his power to stay on the court today, and they're going to need him for as much as possible. And I think he will have success in this game. Ivasic, the big guy down low for the Illini, doesn't have the greatest footwork. And the thing about Fremantle is he has some of the best footwork for a big man in the league. So I do think he'll be able to put him on ice skates a bit. He'll be able to have his way in the paint and be able to put points on the board. So give me Xavier plus 3.5. Hefe, what do you think? We can get a little Illinois win on the money line by 1 or 2.
I respect. This is a game that I think will not be decided in the first half, if you know what I mean. This will be a game that will be back and forth close. I expect a good close game between these 2 teams. I think match up well. The best players match up well with the other team's best players.
I could not agree more. Well, Hefe, we blazed through the 5-game set today. Before we go into best bets, any other comments, guys? If you want us to break down anything else, let us know. Want any opinions on any other games? Let us know. We are here for you. But Hefe, give me one other bet you like today from a game we didn't cover.
I got you. Let's do this. How about this? We have not spoken anything about a upset today. So I'll go first. I'm not going to make you name the upset. I will tell you what
it is.
Double-digit seed do you think has the best chance of covering the number and maybe sprinkling a little bit? You actually don't know what it is. I know you think I'm gonna say
I know what it is.
no. Lipscomb, baby.
The Lippers. That's not what I thought.
I know. Iowa State, one of their best players is injured. Everybody knows that. And it's not that Lipscomb is world beaters. 14.5 is a lot of points. I do think Iowa State gets out of there with a win. But man, could I see it being by 11 or 12, where just that last 2 minutes, Iowa State's just playing, dribble it out, and Lipscomb's going and getting free layups.
Yeah,
100%. I'm going to tell you that my favorite big double-digit seed to cover today is Lipscomb. Now I will tell you, my favorite outright winner, upset winner, without a doubt, is Akron, and it has nothing to do with Akron. It has everything to do with the fact that the Arizona Wildcats are absolutely a fraudulent team. Boom. What do you got?
I knew you had to get Zippy in there somewhere. Now you're all over Zippy. So for a team that I think is going to be an outright winner as a double-digit seed today. Well, I did give you North Carolina. That's an 11 seed, but that's not fun. That's not exciting. I'm on Vanderbilt today, but that's not fun. I also gave out Colorado State, which is a 12-5. So, I mean, Hefe, I'm running out of double-digit seeds I have remaining today.
You know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do.
So what you're saying.
You know what to do.
Is that the Akron Zips have a realistic chance to defeat the Arizona Wildcats? Because I'm on the Zips today, plus 14.5. I'm going to be honest here. I took that on Monday. I set that up very early because I like the line. I see them having a chance to win, but they're not going to win the game. They got a chance. They're not going to win the game. I hope they compete. I hope it stays close late. There's no other really big. I'm also on Xavier against Illinois. That's an 11-6. So there's not too many crazy things. I'm not on Liberty, so I'll let that out now. But I'll let you guys know one for tomorrow. We won't be live tomorrow. There's a game tomorrow that I love. Hefe, you're going to have to come up with one pick for tomorrow's slate as well. My pick, McNeese, money line, over Purdue. We had him yesterday on the money line. They're going to do it again. Give me McNeese. They're going to take out Purdue. What's yours for tomorrow?
I love your McNeese pick. I love your McNeese
pick. But wait, I gotta try one thing. I may have screwed something up here. This may change some things. Yeah. Okay.
I like your McNeese pick. I just want to also add for today's game in Akron, Arizona. I don't want to make it sound like we're just doing this out of the whim. Akron can score 84 points per game. Arizona 81 points per game. Now, I understand.
We like Akron.
Totally different. Playing styles, all that. The one thing that Arizona absolutely has over Akron is size. Arizona has a couple big men. Akron does not. If Akron can make their shots and limit second chance opportunities for Arizona, they are live. If not, they are dead. But they can absolutely keep up in scoring with Arizona. Moving on to tomorrow, I have a play that I love. You want to call it a dog? I mean, both teams are weirdly favored. It's one of those. But in terms of seeding, they are a dog. I'm taking BYU to knock off Wisconsin, man. I like this BYU team.
I am also on BYU to knock off Wisconsin tomorrow. That's fine.
I think you look at this from far back. You see a 3-6. You see that currently Wisconsin's minus 115 money line. BYU's minus 105. I think it is so easy to just be like, Tanji, Wisconsin just crushed, Blackwell, all their other Kohler, what? Money line, easy, bing. No.
So Kohler's on Michigan State, but that's the others were fantastic.
Sorry. BYU, Richie Saunders, other than his grandfather inventing the tater tots, is a fantastic player, fantastic.
Oh, what a great article they had, by the way, on his grandfather.
You see his NIL every time BYU wins, they're giving out like hundreds of bags of free tots, man.
That's unbelievable. Aridas? What are they giving out? What brand?
Yeah. Aridas, that's the brand. That's the brand. Dude, his grandfather invented the tot. How? I have no idea. More to come on that story, I'm sure. Is BYU. I just want to let you know, BYU wins this game tomorrow. There's 100% an ESPN story about Richie Saunders' grandfather and how he invented the tater tot on all sports centers all week. Moving forward, Demon is a fantastic point guard for BYU. I love what he brings to the team. They have good depth. They have good guards. They have great center in Keita. I like BYU. I think they can match up with Wisconsin. Yes, the best player on the court, without a doubt, is Tanji. But we've seen it happen when he does not have a great game, and Wisconsin can't keep up. Give me BYU, man.
Well, Hefe, I like it. Well, you know what time it is?
Best.
It is best bets time. So, Hefe, you're going to kick us off. We don't have a graphic today. I do apologize, guys. So, you're going to have to listen to our beautiful voices. Hefe, give me best bets.
All right, man. So, first one that I am going with is I got 3 money lines. We talked about them all, so I'm just going to breeze through. Mississippi State over Baylor, UNC over Ole Miss, and lastly, the Illini over Xavier. All 3 are money lines. Let's go. We went 3-1 yesterday, so 3-0 today. Why not? Alpha, what do you
that out of here? UNC on the money line. One we didn't talk about, the Alabama game. Alabama team total over 94.5. They're going to score 110. Take that with ease. Third and final one, I'm giving out Mississippi State the early game. So let's cash all of them, guys. Let's have an absolutely monster day. Hefe,
I want to say
you're in the normal JD seat today. So before we get out of here,
that.
you're going to have to rep him.
I got you. I just want to say I wasn't totally off with Kohler. It was Crowell. That's the guy. That's the center.
You were totally off. Jackson Kohler is the big man for Michigan State.
Kroll.
Simon Cowell.
Simon
Cowell is the center for Wisconsin.
You heard it here first, folks. All right, guys, listen. This is an important message. 2 things. Just like yesterday, do not get caught up in the chase. Treat it like any other day. There's 16 games on today. There's going to be 8 games on tomorrow. There's going to be 8 games on Sunday. It's a long weekend for us sports fans. So enjoy it. Don't lose yourself in the motion and stay responsible, especially with wagering. Especially yesterday reminded me one thing, Alpha. Tell me if it reminded you too. How insanely easy it is to just live bet every single game.
Be careful.
Timeout, at every single halftime. And then you think you're reading the trend perfectly. Like, this is a second half team. And what happens? Blown out. Guys, stay true to yourself and your betting habits and your tactics. With that being said, in the words of the great philosopher, JD, a.k.a. Line Movers, LLC, let's fucking win.
Let's fucking win. We'll be back on Monday. Same time, same place. Peace, everybody.